Man has not always lived among the stars. There was a time, many centuries ago, when the race called humans lived only on one small blue planet. It is there, on the planet they call Earth, that our story begins.
Yars Revenge for the Atari 2600.
Have you played Atari today?
It's the early 80s and Atari is on top of the mountain in the video game industry. But with the growing of competitors such as Mattel with their Intellivision and Coleco's up-and-coming ColecoVision, Atari needed something to get the consumers their way. Programmer Howard Scott Warshaw was at the time making a port of the Cinematronics game Star Castle. As the license fell through, many changes were made until the game had little resemblance to the original title. And the final product of that was Yars Revenge.
This game was released in May of 1982 to positive reviews amongst critics. Now, any Atari fan can tell you what a classic this is, but gamers today would have no idea what this is. Well, first off, it's a game. Second, it's a classic. And third, you better get off your FPS and play a good game. On a serious note, this game is amongst the greats, and I'm here to remind those that won't acknowledge the awesomeness that is Atari. So let's take a better look at Yars Revenge. Did we cut to transition yet?
We're off into space to claim our revenge, for reasons I am unsure of. You control Yar and have to destroy the evil Kotile to rack up the points and proceed. The Kotile is protected by his barrier, which changes each level. It can be destroyed by either being shot at or nibbling on it. Once the barrier is nibbled on, or if you broke the barrier enough that you could go and touch the Kotile, this will activate your Zorlon cannon on the opposite side of the screen. From there, you must angle your shot perfectly to hit the Kotile to move on to the next round. But the challenge persists, as there will be a pursuing destroyer missile always coming after you. But you can be safe from it in the neutral zone. But even that can't save you from the Kotile's secret weapon, the swirl! And that's how you play. Moving on.
Doesn't have any. Next.
Even though games of this period are limited for our time, there was always room for some hidden goodies. If you kill a swirl in mid-air, a black vertical line will appear across where it was shot. if you move your Yar vertically across that line and also be slightly below the middle of the screen when the explosion ends, the game will automatically end and send you to the game select screen showing Howard Scott Warshaw's initials both forward and backwards. Oh, and in the original box the game had a comic book. So that's cool. Moving on. This game was a hit on the Atari, becoming the best-selling original title on their 2600 VCS. In later years, it was re-released for the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance as a part of a 3-in-1 cartridge, the Atari Flashback, and Xbox's Game Room in 2010. There was also a reimagining, Yars Revenge, a prequel, Yars Revenge First War, and a sequel, Yars Return, which can only be found on the Atari Flashback 2.
So, what is my rate to play? This is a gotta play. As I've said many times throughout this episode, this game is a classic in all respects. Even though based originally on an arcade, the final product was even better.
But that's only my opinion. If you have your own thoughts, leave a comment. If you like what you see, leave a like. If you think others could enjoy this, share it around the web. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Anyway, this has been BrianTheBlue Game Reviews, Yars Revenge, for the Atari 2600.
On a side note, did you know that this game had an album made for it? Break a song.